Hey guys,
Hey.
Keone and Mari. Wow. Welcome to the Successful Dancing Podcast.
Thank
So-
you.
Thanks for having us.
I want to kind of talk about what brought you guys here. Like, how did you guys get to this point in your lives, in your dance careers?
Well, 16 years of dancing and you.
19 years of dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, I think we both just started dancing just for fun. And even when we were doing it as adults, we never really were thinking that we were going to pursue it as a career. It was just something that we had in our lives that we really loved a lot. And kind of just couldn't imagine not having it in our lives or devoting our time to that. And when YouTube happened, we both had videos put up from our classes of, I think one of your students, one of your Future Shot kids put up one of his class videos. I had a teammate on Funks put up one of my class videos. And then that just opened these gates to teaching opportunities and just traveling, or just realizing that there's a platform to just like share your work, which just didn't really exist before.
Well, especially when the only way to become, I guess, a successful dancer at the time was you had to be dancing for an artist in the background. You were lucky if you got to be in a movie and whatnot. And to be straightforward, Asian Americans weren't getting those opportunities compared to Caucasians or African Americans in the dance industry. So
it was like Harajuku girls or that's it.
Yeah. The Harajuku girls, right? That was like legendary for Asians.
It was legendary.
And so like it was hard, like, and then also like me personally, like my family, some of my closest friends like would just kind of laugh at me or just kind of just not believe in what this thing is, right? And like, what, you're dancing now? Like, what's that going to do for you? And like, I just battling against those things, I feel like, definitely helped us to this point. And, essentially we were a part of helping cultivate this new idea of a dancer, this new idea of a dance career. And I think that's just like, I don't know, a super cool opportunity to be a part of, yet it's something that we never planned on, but we had so much love for this craft and so much love for our community and where we hoped dance to be, that I feel like that kind of brought us to this point. I mean, there's so many things in between.
Yeah, I think that definitely, like, along the way, there was a point where we had made the decision that we were going to pursue this as a career and, like, fully commit. Because when you're doing it just, like, for fun, I think if you want to do it professionally, you have to, like, you just got to make a leap and mentally just, put all of your energy into it. Otherwise, you can't really expect all of these things to magically happen. Like, they kind of, it was very easy for us because things would just start to, fall into our lap. But there was a point where it was like, okay, we got to take this seriously if we want to make this last.
So what was the leap that you guys took? Like, what was that one decision or several decisions where you guys were like, okay, it's serious now. We're gonna bring this thing to the next level. Like, was there a point in time where you guys just decided that together, or was it just kind of naturally occurring and it just kind of got there on its own?
Well, I would say it was a bit of a divine intervention per se. I think actually before we decided on this being a profession, we almost quit. It was 2010, and we had started the conversations of marriage and starting a family, and those scary thoughts of, oh man, I have to take care of somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm not just paying my own meals anymore. You know what I mean? Like I got to pay rent for 2 people now. Like, what?
Yeah.
So those thoughts became a little more scary, and practicality was so far away. I feel like with where we were in our careers, like we didn't have health insurance, we didn't know how to pay our taxes as freelancers. Like, those so many questions, right? And so that fear ultimately kind of strayed us away and into a more, I'm doing air quotes right now, but a practical career of I wanted to pursue sports medicine, and then Mari was going to go into nursing. She had actually already applied for a job at Pete's and was already working there for a month.
I was
Pete's
already
Coffee.
like, I started taking an online class. I already had my degree. I did like an undergrad degree, like nothing to do with nursing. And I was like, well, you know, my dad's a nurse, and like so many Filipinos are nurses, and then also a lot of his family are nurses here in that field. So it's like, okay, this would make sense as like a practical option for a job.
But from there, once we kind of, we're very, like faith is a big part of our lives. And so in prayer, we were constantly, questioning like, hey, should we be doing this? Or, please give us a sign if this is what you want us to do. Those kinds of questions, that we all ask ourselves sometimes. And it, kind of, the ball kept rolling in the direction of, you got to stop, you got to go the practical route. And there was one time that Sean Evaristo hit us up, and he was like, hey, I want to talk to you about this idea, about this new company I'm starting, Movement Lifestyle. And that, for those of you who know what Movement Lifestyle is, probably most of you know it as a dance studio, but when it first started, it was actually artist management. And so when he told us about this idea, we were literally crying because we were like, oh man, like dreams are being crushed right now because we have to say no to this.
Well, yeah, and it was just like an answer to all of the doubts that we had, like all the practical questions, like how do we do this? How do we do this? It was like, well, here's this service and this company I want to start to help you establish yourself and like really be an artist and have like all of the things a normal, responsible person has in their lives. And we still were like far down the other path. We were like, no, Sean,
we can't.
I'm sorry, we can't do this. We're still going to like go this different way. We're going to have dance take a back seat.
So with that, Sean basically was like, at first he was like, no, there's no way. But second, he was like, if there's anything I can do to help, red carpet your way out of here with your dance career, like please let me do so. And so at that time, content videos were like the newest and coolest thing.
Yeah.
And Sean was definitely like a big part of, bringing that to the forefront and bringing a production team to help us film an idea that we had that we collaborated with Ving Nguyen on. For those of you who know Ving, he's on Kinja's. And we've been longtime friends, and so we had this idea to share. It was a lot to do with our faith, and we had this last performance that it was kind of a last performance and mixed in with this concept video. We put it out there, and it was a little scary because I feel like anything that we all relate to as far as like religion on social media or in public media forums, it's just constant like battles, right? Just people just angry at each other and division. And so we were a little bit hesitant about it. We were like, man, is this going to cause rift? Or, we don't want this to be the last impression we want to leave in the dance world. But we're like, you know what, let's just do it anyways. This means a lot to us. So once we put it out there, the response was actually way more positive than we thought, even like from people who don't have the same faith as us. They felt like they related to it. Which is ultimately like the important thing for us. But the biggest thing from that experience was we got this direct private message from somebody, and it was a very anonymous message. So I still, to this day, don't know who this person is, but they said that they had been contemplating suicide, and that this video helped change their mind on that and basically save their life. And to like read that, looking at it on a computer screen, just like tears streaming down our faces. And
it was like we were sitting in his mom's kitchen just like crying over a laptop. It was just like, and ultimately just realizing like, whoa, dance is so powerful and it's so much bigger than us, or can reach so much further in ways that we can never like actually see. And
so for us, that was like equal to it being just an emotional, like for what that message was. And then also additionally, like an answer to a prayer of like, dance is what you're supposed to be doing. It's not just about you. It's not just about the dancing. It's bigger than that because you're going to go help people. And that clear, like divine message to us was just like insane. And then from that moment it was okay,
like that night we made a decision, like we're
gonna do this,
we're gonna do this, we're gonna give it a try.
That's really awesome. That's an amazing story because now that you guys realize that dance is powerful and you guys affect so many people's lives in a positive way, does that put even more pressure when you guys want to put something new out, or when you guys are creating something new? Or is it the same mentality that you have where you're just like, let's hope people like this, and let's hope people, don't run away from us for trying this new idea out?
I think it's a little of both. I mean, we're really growth oriented kind of people, so we always want to be better and always are constantly looking for ways to be better. And we really care about putting out quality work. And so I think we hold ourselves to a really high standard. So like if we don't feel good about something, well, we'd rather be patient and like make something that we feel proud of and we feel like stays on our purpose and our message and spreading light and positivity to people.
Yeah, and I think rather than like a sense of pressure, it's more like of a sense of responsibility. Like we've been given this platform, this gift, and there are people that follow us and that support us, and it makes us feel more responsible to take care of the craft, to find ways to get better, to put in the time and the dedication and the discipline. So a little bit of pressure, but I feel like it's good pressure, It's like the kind of pressure, there's that quote that, pressure makes diamonds, so I think that that definitely, we feel that kind of pressure versus a bad one.
It's almost like you guys are nurturing something, taking care of the dogs, like you feel like there's like some sort of work that you have to do, but once you do it, it's like it's so rewarding because you're just like, all the work that we put in, all the efforts that we put in to inspire people, like it comes back to you, because the more work you're putting out towards people, and you're focusing on your audience and not yourselves, and you're not thinking about like, oh, what can I do to make me feel good about dance? It's more like, how can we change people's lives? How can we affect them in a positive way? And the more you think outward towards them, it just comes back to you anyway, So that's like the best part about you guys is, you're coming out with this book, you're going beyond dance, and that's what I love about you guys. It's you guys aren't afraid to push the boundaries and try something new. And even with this book, like you guys, I've been reading some reviews, people are saying like they've got tears and everything. Like you guys are still affecting people in a good way, and that's super awesome. Like, do you guys want to talk about what inspired you guys to write a book, or is that something you guys just
Well, for sure. I think, well, first, thanks, Ken, for all the kind words. I'm not going to skim over that and just, but I feel like Ruth, it was really just, again, along the lines of what we've been, striving for with trying to grow and trying to push our boundaries along with pushing dance's boundaries. And actually, Mari, she has a creative writing degree, and we're paying off these student loans, so I'm like, babe, we got to use this somehow. And no, for real though, like we've always been trying to brainstorm on how can we utilize your talents in writing, because we have such a passion for storytelling as well, that it's a seamless fit. We just didn't know how the pieces would fit quite yet, and we just got inspired by like the newer generation of education. You see a lot of kids in school, they have iPads, and it's all interactive. It's videos, it's writing, it's illustrations, photos, quizzes at the end of the thing. And so, it just kind of dawned on us like, man, we should try to utilize dance within this platform. Like, why shouldn't, like, dance should live in this platform, because we're so dependent on dance as a visual, dance film, that it could definitely enhance not just education, but also storytelling and just creativity in general. Like if anyone wanted to put together short stories or a poem alongside of a dance video, or education, if one of, a hip-hop OG wanted to go down the line, talk about hip-hop, where it started from and the original moves to that. You have visuals and you have writing to it. So we felt like, aside from us wanting to create an idea and a project, we felt like it was such an endless pool of opportunity for dance. And we truly feel strongly about that, and we hope that in the future we could see, other dancers and choreographers, teachers, whatnot, educators be able to tap into the capabilities of technology within new books.
And right now, there's an app being built for the dance book. So we're building it, hence why our website is dancebook.app. It's leading to that. It's being all coded right now. But we have the first one go out on iBooks and Google Play on these like big established platforms already. But we want it to live also on this app, and then, invite that platform to other people to curate some really amazing work and have, longer form projects or whatever ideas they have, and to be able to own their own content too. That's the dream.
And a lot of it too was like, we've all seen dance movies, and man, there's always this battle of like actors that can't dance and dancers that can't act, and I get it. And so this in a book, it allowed us to focus on, or to allow dance to focus on what it does best, which is just dance. And with minimal acting involved, and then the deeper, acting portions could be written and read.
Nice.
And illustrated as well, or photographed. And so it just really gave us more options to focus on what we do best. I don't know if there's anything to add to that, but yeah.
That's awesome. I feel like once you guys start up your dance book, a lot of dancers that just happen to be writers, like myself, because I write a blog and I do a podcast, because I also want to do things outside of dance, beyond dance, where it still connects us to dance somehow. Like, for example, this conversation we're having, like, you can't dance it out on stage and people get it, you know what I mean? Like, you have to literally sit down, talk about it. For you guys, it's like you got to tell the story by actually writing it out and connecting dance to it somehow, right? Excuse me. But yeah, like that's what I like about you guys. It's like when you have this platform created, now that dancers see this, they could create something more than just dance, and they could upload their books on your guys's thing where they're creating their own dance book. You guys are literally inspiring people to jump on this new platform,
That's what we want.
Yeah, and it's like it dawns on us, like, we're looking through Instagram and we see so many amazing dancers like posting their work, but like the music's not synced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, man, we deserve better than that. Like
we try to put some on YouTube and then it gets taken down because copyright issues and.
Yeah, it does feel like dance can go bigger than where we are now. Even though like there's so many amazing opportunities that are coming from all these platforms, and our ability to share our own work, so incredible. But yeah, it just feels like we can do more.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I kind of dislike about other platforms right now, is because of the fact that we rely we're so dependent on other people's music, other people's, skills and stuff. And
Right.
It limits us, because it's like, well, I really want to dance like this to this type of song, but just because it's somebody else made it, it's like it stops you from showing people, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
but then again, like, not all dancers are musicians, or maybe they are, but they're afraid to pursue it because they don't see like how sustainable it could be. But with you guys coming out with this book, coming out with original music, everything, like, it's inspiring people to do more than just dance, Like, it's all those dancers that might be like interested in music, they could come out now and do that, because it's like, well, they could do it, so I could do it too,
Yeah,
So
or just collaborate with other people, like build relationships with other artists. And
Think about like a lot of rappers, singers, they have producers, they have people that make beats for them, and they literally just put their voice on top of it. So there's so many ways to go about it, and we live in a world where there's so many creatives, so many people who are just creating their own music, creating their own dances, that it's easier to connect. And I think if there's an effort on the dance side to just try and curate our own sounds, I think there's tons of endless possibility there, with where dance can be. Like, people putting out their own soundtracks for what they did, and it could be really amazing.
So for our listeners out there that want to go further with dance, like, what kind of advice do you guys have for them where like maybe it could be, network more or do something? Like what type of advice do you guys have for people that want to do more with dance?
There's a couple of things. I think first is learn your craft, obviously, so that you when you do decide to like speak, your voice is strong, and you have like, you know what you want to say, and you're able to like say it the way you want to. Because I think sometimes when people haven't taken the time, it's like they try to talk, but it's like not ready yet, and so things can be not as clear. So taking your time to invest in the craft first, and then when you're ready to, not be afraid of boundaries or limits, and if something doesn't exist yet, like that, it may seem really, really overwhelming, but that you totally can do it. Like we didn't realize that we made this thing that doesn't exist yet. And it was so hard to like explain to people what it was, but we knew what it was in our mind. And it seemed really big and overwhelming, but, taking it one step at a time. And it took us 2 years of work. But like now we have this thing we feel so proud of, and like are realizing it's like it reaches out so much further than just this one project and this one thing. So I think people are so creative. They just have to like tap into confidently like their own creativity and not limit themselves to what they already see. I think that goes with like inspiration too. Like a lot of people will ask us like, what are we inspired by? We're inspired by everything, like so many things. I feel like sometimes dancers like, oh, I want to be inspired, so I'm going to go watch dance videos, but like you're totally limiting yourself and only looking at a tunnel. And I think all of us kind of have to take that responsibility of you feel like you want dance to push further and you want more opportunities, you want more places, more things. Like you got to take some of that on your shoulders and move forward and not be afraid to create new things.
Yeah, you know what's funny? My personal inspirations, they actually come from books and reading.
Yeah.
Like it has nothing to do with dancing. I read nonfiction. Sometimes I read like fantasy stuff, but like most of the stuff that I read, it's like nonfiction, but it's so inspiring, it's so motivating, and they're basically telling you to get off your butt and do something, and then that's my motivation at least. So for you guys to come out with a book, I was like super excited because I was like, wow, they're actually gonna do a book with dancing, and it's like it's like a Venn diagram dance book. Boom! Like you guys are. That's me right in the middle. Like I'm the target audience.
Yeah.
So what was this show that you guys were talking about? Like what's the future for you guys right now? Like that's this theater show.
Yeah, man, life doesn't slow down, but it's we're jumping right into this next project, which is a full-length theater show. We've always wanted to do one, and we always felt like we had the capabilities to do it. And it just so happens to collide on the same year that we wanted to release a dance book. And the show is in collaboration with this production company from New York. They're named Hideaway Circus. They focus on a lot of circus and theater. And we've done a project with them where we were choreographers on one of their shows. And they asked us if we wanted to co-create a show. And to have that opportunity was pretty huge because normally producers they never give you that chance. It's usually just, hey, will you choreograph on my show? And so to have an opportunity to really work something from the ground up, write something and choreograph it and star in it and give 10 additional dancers an opportunity to be in it as well, it was an incredible opportunity. And to do it in our hometown of San Diego, which the show is going to have deep ties to what's going on in our political climate in San Diego, with there being a wall, and a border and things going on over there. But it's separately, it's going to be not just a regular dance show, but an immersive show where the audience, they would normally be sitting in like a normal seating bank, but there'll be 2 seating banks that will move forward and backwards as they watch the show. So they'll literally be able to like ride in closer to see the details of an intimate moment or push back.
Kind of like what we were on at Arena.
Yeah. That was the intention of what we were doing at Arena, was to showcase the seats a little bit.
Like a little micro version of the seats that the audience will be sitting in.
That's pretty cool. It's like you're on a ride. but
It's like a
A little
ride.
bit, yeah.
It's like a ride. It's
It's
like
like
a
ride.
Transformers.
It's like yeah, Transformers 3D show, 4D.
But with
You're
dancing.
moving. It's
Yeah.
then next thing it's gonna be like a rotating audience, and you're just like, dude, that's so cool. But yeah, okay, so thank you so much for this interview. You guys were amazing, and you guys really inspired me, and all the stuff you guys were talking about, it's like it just motivates me further, and I hope that it motivates the audience, that our listeners. How would you guys want to thank your audience?
Yeah. Well, just thank you. We've been feeling a ton of support lately from like our community, from fans, from dancers, non-dancers, all over the place. We've been getting so many messages and so much love from people. It's been really, really like good. And so we're always incredibly thankful for the people that back us up, whether that's just watching or people who are like helping lift our props and put them on stage, or people who are throwing events and inviting us to be there, and people who come up to us and talk to us after shows, or friends who just are constantly showing their love and support. Like, we cannot do this without that. So we feel it all the time, and we really genuinely, like, we really appreciate it. And it's built us up as people for many, many years.
And it really helps us build our projects too. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like
our
that all the
Kickstarter.
love
Ruth
and-
was all backed by just like people,
Yeah.
just normal people on a Kickstarter.
Yeah, and all that love and support, I feel like we store it in a place, and then it just like goes out into these projects.
Yeah.
And it gives us the motivation and energy to do it. So really thank you to anybody that has given us a shot, and that even just watched anything that we have had to say or do or move. To continue staying along with our journey, you can go to our website at keoneandmari.com. We try to update it as much as possible, but sometimes it may be stuck in Christmas 2015.
Yeah, but Instagram, we're usually pretty active there.
Which you can follow us at Keone Madrid and @ Mari Madrid. And from there, I think the black hole continues.
Yeah.
But that's a good starting point.
Nice. Okay, thank you so much, guys. I hope you guys have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
Thanks, Ken.
All right, hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah.
All right. Peace.
Peace.